This is Dolany TV, guys. A big welcome back to another Oilers discussion here on the channel today. And of course, having done the game breakdown right after the game ended in overtime last night, the 1-0 final should have been 2-0. Technically, yes, I don't need to reignite that debate today. But either way, I got that out of the way. So what does that free me up to do? That kind of frees me up to talk about quite the interesting note that I didn't mention in the preview or the breakdown yesterday for the Oilers. This big news, guys. Like, you'd be stupid for me, or you'd be stupid to think I wouldn't touch it. That's, I guess, what I should say. I did have a comment, I believe, talking about it, and I'm going to talk right now about it. Basically, we need to go over what the move that Andrej Sekera made yesterday means for the Oilers. He didn't go anywhere. He didn't really technically do anything in terms of anything. He got back on the ice, non-contact jersey, and started skating. That's what he did. Okay, maybe I should have started with that and kind of said that instead of rambling on, but you guys know the style and you guys are here to get the news, and that's exactly what I'm telling you. It's a non-contact jersey for Andrej Sekera, but it's not so much the news you're looking for. Bob Stauffer, Jack Michaels, guys like that on Twitter already had that news yesterday at 11 o'clock. That's not what you're looking for. You're looking for the breakdown, and that's what I'm going to try and kind of provide here. Is I need to break down what's going on for the Oilers in terms of defense, right? Because right now we're sitting with a roster of 8 defensemen. Sorry, that message, I just had a buddy on Twitter come in and ask me about Nurse over Sekera, and that's kind of what's going to be part of the topics today. So the Oilers defense is the question mark, but the bigger question mark for the Oilers defense per se is Andrej Sekera, right? So all year we've kind of, oh my god, we need to upgrade the defense, we need to do this. Meanwhile, in all this doom and gloom kind of blow it up style hockey we've played this first 23 games, we've kind of lost track that Andrej Sekera will be back on the ice in a game sometime this year. Right, a lot of Oilers fans, I think, have missed the fact that Sekera is still an Oiler and Sekera is still a very good possibility to be on our roster by January. That's about my timeline for him. January, probably 3rd to 7th is somewhere where we'd see Andrej Sekera's debut for the Oilers in the 2018-2019 season. So the first thing we got to break down before we break anything too seriously down is what is Andrej Sekera to the Edmonton Oilers. Right now, as it sits, Andrej Sekera is a $5.5 million cap hit player when he returns. Now you're looking at me, great, another Milan Lucic style contract where we're not getting the value we should be. Well, okay, this is where we just have to bite the bullet a little bit. Andrej Sekera has a no movement clause this year. That's the last year of his no movement clause, the last year of the 6-year deal, and then all of a sudden it'll go down to 2019-2020 modified no trade, and then 2021 modified no trade. So that's huge news for us, right? We can start to see him coming off the books right away here. And then we go over and, okay, what are we getting for $5.5 million per year, right? He's been on the injured reserve, LTI. He's been all over kind of for the Oilers roster at this point of his tenure with us. But what you're getting out of Andrej Sekera as an Edmonton Oiler, defense was shaky last year, yes, and I know players and guys in the league kind of took advantage of him in the first 2 years with the Oilers, but you have to keep in mind, one man doesn't make a full defense. I'll argue about that differently in a second when it comes to a different defenseman, but hold on a second. So Andrej Sekera, the reason I'm saying one man doesn't make a defense is when you look at his 2 stat years for 15-16, 16-17. 16-17, the playoff year, 15-16, well, you know. So in 15-16, Sekera played all but 1 game, so he played 81 of 82, had 6 goals, 24 assists, 30 points on the year, 12 penalty minutes, and a -15. I'm not too invested in that number because I'll talk about the difference in a second. And then in 16-17, played all of but 2 games in a year we went to the playoffs, 8 goals, 27 assists for 35 points, and a +14. So right there, you know what, similar style years, just you got to look at the defense compared to the player. And obviously, if at 35 points in 1 year, Sekera is a plus 14, and at 30 points in the first year is a minus 15. Yeah, but guys, I don't have to dig up graves of the Oilers defense to tell you how bad the Oilers defense was in 15-16, right? That's clear cut, that's fine, that's gold, we're great, let's not go there. The other thing, what are we getting on Sekera? Well, he is kind of a guy we can lean on for playoff experience should we make the playoffs this season. Riding and dying with this team, literally almost dying, literally guy, I believe he was playing on his injury for 2 games until the series against Anaheim, and I don't remember how it all shook out. Long ago, far away, unfortunately for me. But Andrej Sekera, 11 games, 1 goal, 2 assists, 3 points, right? And he was injured at times, so don't invest too much in that. Invest in the 11 games of experience and say Andrej Sekera's been there with the Oilers in the past decade to the playoffs. So okay, that's the big news. Andrej Sekera has been on an Oilers playoff team that is more recent than 05-06, okay? So that's good news. He knows what it takes to kind of get the playoffs done. Obviously getting a series win under his belt in that playoff run. So guys, that's Andrej Sekera in a nutshell. I've already broken down the contract. Now, the thing we have to look at is the complicated aspect of the Edmonton Oilers defense when you look at what they've got, right? They've got Jason Garrison, Matt Benning, Kevin Gravel, Chris Russell, Darnell Nurse, Adam Larsson, Oscar Klefbom, and Chris Weidman on the roster right now. So essentially, what is the Oilers' plan for Sekera in the defense? That's as easy. Okay, I took 5.5 minutes explaining into Andrej Sekera and what he adds. Now, what is the plan? What is the plan for Andrej Sekera and the Oilers' defense? Easy peasy as this. Pardon the scratching at the door. Living with pets. It's as easy and simple as this, guys. Andrej Sekera adds great offensive production. Is that what the Oilers are looking for? Or do they think they can get it out of a guy like Weidman, Garrison, or Benning, or Gravel? That's kind of the decision, right? I'm fine if we carry 8 defensemen all the way through the season. That's no problem to me. I'm good with that, but I just don't believe that's the way to go. We should have a 7-man unit, and if that 7-man unit includes Matt Benning, we're in a world of hurt. That's my personal opinion. I'm saying Matt Benning does ruin a 6-man defense with his play out there. He has been absolutely brutal this year, except save. Of course, I go on rants and I go on tangents about Matt Benning, and then he puts up a performance where he was very unnoticeable, which is what you want out of a defensive defenseman against Dallas. So it was a good job for Matt Benning to kind of say, hey, I'm not going to let my job go without a fight. And that was good. That's good to see. I'm glad to see that out of Mr. Matt Benning. But the problem is, now you've got a couple other defensemen that you got to make decisions on. Kevin Gravel, Jason Garrison, and Chris Weidman. The 2 of those 3 have to go should Andrej Sekera come back to the lineup, right? It's as simple as that. So it's going to be a tough question to see what the Oilers do with the defense. I personally think Gravel goes back to the minors, Benning gets waived, you keep Garrison, and you keep Weidman, and you bring in Sekera. You run with the 8D, and then you figure out what's going to work for you as the season goes on. If somebody needs a defenseman, you trade away Garrison. That's essentially what I'm thinking. Unless they believe they can rehab Chris Weidman into a team player, right? Remember the Uber scandal? And then go bring him to a different team for exactly what they traded for him, right? Just keep trading that 5th conditional 6th kind of deal and flip Chris Weidman now into whatever the team needs at that point, if not a 5th, 6th round pick. Simple as that. All right, that's one rant. I will keep apologizing for the cat. Door's too far for me to reach. I do apologize about that, but I'm just about up on Odie here anyways. Guys, the other possibility is trading Sekera or trading Darnell Nurse. Those are the 2 guys, aside from Klefbom and Larsson. Sorry, I got to deal with this. This is absolutely awful. Maybe I left you with trading Nurse or trading Sekera. Sekera, I don't believe, has too much value in comparison to Darnell Nurse. Obviously, Darnell Nurse is the guy who would have value for the Edmonton Oilers in terms of a trade. So I think it makes sense if the Oilers choose to keep the bottom guys they have in the lineup and they want to replace a guy in the lineup instead of Benning, instead of Wideman, instead of Gravel. I guess the guy that's the odd man out in that is Nurse, and you get a package in return. Do you get Nurse and a first rounder out the door for a top line right winger for McDavid if Chiasson, if Ratty, whoever isn't the answer, if you know what I mean? So that's where I'm going to see. Is it Nurse plus for somebody in the door that's not a defenseman, or is it Sekera in for guys out of the lineup and off the roster? Is it that simple? I'm not sure which way the Oilers are going to go with it, but I'm pretty sure Andrej Sekera is going to filter in the lineup in January, and Mr. Darnell Nurse is probably, knowing Peter Chiarelli, still going to be an Edmonton Oiler. Anyways, guys, I have rambled on long enough about the Edmonton Oilers and their defensive fun. What do you think? What do you think the Oilers need to do with Andrej Sekera coming back in January, right? We're about a month away at this point. That's the crazy, scary point I was trying to drive home at the beginning of this video, is we're a month away from Andrej Sekera's return, more than likely, barring a setback. Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Stolen TV. Hit me up in the comment section down below. I am up on out of here.